In 1999, Stephen Ranjezi, a renowned actor and musician who is also the proprietor of the Ndere Center, acquired land in Tinda Chisasi in Kampala to house Ndere Troupe, a cultural dance group. Since then, he has expanded this to acquire more property in Bira in Wakiso district as well as Chisoro, where he planned to hold a hotel to entertain tourists arriving to watch the gorillas.
The main reasons I started in Ndere was one, our African heritage was sinking and was really getting extinct. Whether it was the music, whether it was the dance, whether it was the food, whether it was the architecture, medicine, dress, name it. Because from the colonial times, the main trajectory of colonialism was to destroy the pride and confidence of the African person.
In a move to expand his portfolio, in December 2019, Ranjezi secured a 6.8 billion shilling loan from Uganda Development Bank, and the amount was transferred to his bank account in 3 installments. 2 months later, President Museveni announced a total shutdown of the economy following the outbreak of COVID-19. Later, the president would urge businesses impacted by COVID-19 to seek loans from the Uganda Development Bank. Given the effects of the pandemic, Ranjezi says he was unable to put the money to use for over 3 years. However, the bank continued to levy interests on the money despite its redundancy.
Please save this, Ndere. We are not saying we should not pay. All we are asking for is a bit of time. In fact, the last letter we put when the letter of sale came out, we wrote to the bank and requested for only 1 year, in which year we would look for investors who could buy equity in these businesses, and through the equity sales raise the money to pay the bank.
Over time, the troubled Ranjezi realized that he was overwhelmed by the debt. He affirms that he has held numerous meetings with the bank to seek a 1-year grace period to be able to repay the loan. He says he is concerned about the business, which today sits on about 21 acres of land, which, according to him, valued at shillings 120 billion, could be lost for just shillings 10.5 billion that the bank is looking for.
I mean, Ndere Cultural Center, when we were making the second round of application, which they rejected, the bank sent valuers and they put it at 33 billion. Bank valuers. And you know bank valuers do press values down. Yes, but they put it at 33 billion. What we are owing the bank is only 10.5, and that includes penalties and interest. So we look for, in this 1 year, we can look for investors who will not come and bring a grader and mow down these trees and put up shopping malls, but who will be sensitive to the cultural growth.
Ranjezi is now pleading with President Museveni for a financial bailout to help clear the loan, or at least convince Uganda Development Bank to grant him a further grace period. He argues that although his business is one of those impacted by COVID-19, his Kisoro hotel has just started operating and could generate enough money to pay back the loan.
Ndere Center had reached the level of we can be able to pay 30-40 million per month and still be able to operate without killing the activities. And we have now opened Kisoro, so that was going to start bringing income into our cash flows, which would inevitably improve that situation. But they are not listening to that.
Asked about this, debt recovery lawyer Dennis Kakembo advises Ranjezi to look at various strategies to manage his debt problems. He emphasizes that engaging with a bank to restructure loans is one option, though it comes with certain limitations.
You can engage the bank to restructure the loan. Of course, that's what happened in COVID. During COVID, banks restructured the payment terms, and taxpayers, rather borrowers, were able to push forward the dates within which they would start to pay. But the restructure option also has limits. Your loan can't be every 3 months. You've promised that you start paying 3 months. You expect that you're going to have a restructure for over 3 years, that every time you have an issue, you go back to them. So restructure can work, but it has limits.
Speaking generally, Kakembo advises debtors to consider liquidating some of their own assets before the bank initiates a forced sale.
Sometimes you may have to make difficult decisions. And what are some of those difficult decisions? If you have maybe 20 properties, which are all mortgaged to the bank, rather than leaving it so late for the bank to come and take all the property, you at your own volition, you could choose to liquidate some of those properties so that you remain with the core properties that can keep your business afloat. And then when you reorganize your financial matters, you might find that the business can pick up and you're able actually to rebuild it further.
Ndere Centre is located close to the northern bypass in Tinda and, according to records, attracts more than 600 foreign tourists per month. During their cultural shows, which happen thrice a week, it is estimated that more than 150 tourists attend, leaving millions of dollars in the country. It also runs a dance troupe that has represented Uganda on different international stages with cultural dances of all Ugandan tribes. David Ijo, NTV, Weekend Edition.